Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in. This is Colin with Colin Talks Crypto. And today we're going to take a look at the EOS ecosystem and all of the very, very exciting things that are happening. So thank you for being here to share this with me. This is EOS Mega Update Volume 16. Okay guys, so let's kick it off with something I found here that I found interesting. This is crypto51.app, and basically this site shows you the cost to attack any proof of work chain. And you'll see that, for example, to attack the Bitcoin network right now, it currently costs $348,000 to attack for 1 hour. And I think in that 1 hour, you could do things like reorganize the chain, which means reverse transactions or cancel transactions that have already occurred up to an hour in the past. For Ethereum, it's $97,000 to do a 1 hour attack cost. Not really that much money if you think about it. Bitcoin Cash, about $13,000. Litecoin, $24,000, and on down. And the reason that I have this page up, and you may be asking yourself, well, why are you showing me this? This is an EOS Mega Update. And that's right, because you'll notice that EOS is not listed on this site. And the fact that it is not listed on this site is a very good thing. And that's one of the benefits of proof of stake and delegated proof of stake. It is not subject to this kind of attack. You cannot rent or use hash rate to attack the network. You would actually have to purchase the tokens. So just wanted to put that out there. You can attack these other chains, and you cannot attack in the same manner the EOS or EOSIO chains. You'll notice that none of the proof of stake chains are on here. Everything from Worbli, Telos, EOS, Steemit, BitShares, none of those are attackable in this way. And that's another reason why I think that proof of work eventually will be relegated to the past. Okay guys, let's move on to some very exciting news for EOS specifically. This is Chintai 2.0, and they are really revving things up here. They released this blog post and tons of enhancements and updates to the system. So I've highlighted a few things I want to share with you. They say Chintai 2.0 will introduce the CHEX token, and that stands for Chintai Exchange Token. Chintai Exchange token holders will profit on a basis of shared revenue system. Each staked CHEX token entitles CHEX holders to a percentage of dividends that are generated on the basis of accrued fees from Chintai trading. This may ring a bell. This sounds very similar to what the resource exchange was promising. And we're going to tie this all together because Chintai is more than it seems on first glance. They say that they're going to feature 3 new markets, a RAM market, which was not in place in the original Chintai system. They just had CPU and bandwidth trading. A REX market, resource exchange market, that's what block.one created. And over-the-counter markets for if you're trading more than 100,000 EOS at a time. And Chintai will also be on multiple EOSIO chains, including Worbli, Telos, Wax, EOSForce, EOS, etc. Those are all running on the EOSIO software. And so Chintai 2.0 is going to bridge every one of those together and allow trading seamlessly between all those chains. And as it says here, you'll be able to seamlessly navigate through different markets across all chains within one user interface. So really, they're trying to make this very powerful for the end user to be able to perform trades very easily, whereas you might previously need several exchanges to do the same type of trade. And as I said, the over-the-counter requires at least 100,000 EOS. So that's for big whale traders. And then REX, and this is what I find very interesting. So Chintai 2.0 will provide a user interface for the resource exchange. So block.one has coded the resource exchange as a smart contract. It's a system contract residing within the EOSIO software, but they have not yet created an interface. And I actually thought they were going to do so, but it looks like the route they're taking, which looks actually better because it's integrating everything seamlessly into one place, is they're using Chintai 2.0, or rather Chintai 2.0 is being allowed to integrate that into their platform. And so now you have Chintai 2.0 has everything under its wings. And I'll show you a graphic of that in a second. Chintai 2.0 will offer RAM trading, as I mentioned, through the user interface, and you'll be able to monitor all account resources through your personalized account, which can be accessed through the Chintai website. So they're really making it a go-to place for all your trading needs. And they have set it and forget it, compounding interest. You know I like this. I'm all about the passive income. And it says, nothing is better than making passive income without having to put in any effort. Chintai 2.0 will feature a compounding interest option. Users will be able to set prescribed lease terms that will continually renew based on the pre-selected terms. The compounding interest setting will continuously submit orders, including the interest earned, until the user has terminated the process. So this is lining right up with my vision of living off of a passive income someday and not having to log in every week or month or day to renew my leasing options and to check in on things, but rather to set it and forget it so that my tokens are permanently tradable and rentable by others, and I can therefore make a passive income without having to micromanage it every step of the way. So I'm really excited about that. They have auto renew, market orders. Here's what I was talking about with the image. So multiple chains. Chintai will be with you no matter what EOSIO asset you want to hold or use. And they have, here's Telos, Worbli, Wax Network, Everipedia, etc. So there's interoperability for all these different chains. And you may be wondering about airdrops, and it says never miss out on airdrops. So you're going to be able to get all your airdrops on the Chintai 2.0 platform, even while you're renting out your tokens. So this is really exciting, guys. This is better than I could have hoped for. I thought we were going to have two platforms, a Chintai and a Rex. Now it looks like they're getting merged into one mega powerhouse platform, a trading center for all resources on the EOSIO networks. So well done, guys, really cool. So let's get into something a little more fun here. We got some games. We have Gangster Arena. And before I play the video for you, I'm just going to show you about the team. There's apparently a whole game creation team called ITAM Games. And they have quite a large team. I mean, look at this. This looks like about 30 people or 40 people right here. And they're developing all sorts of different games. They have a roadmap, and they're releasing a role-playing game in the next year. And they also have Gangster Arena coming in Q1 of 2019. So we should be seeing this game fairly soon. Let's have a look. So you get to buy your character with EOS, and then you own that character for good. And I cannot read Chinese, so I have no idea what it's saying. But it's in English as well. And basically you have 4 characters, and they duke it out to see who will kill all the others with various weapons and things like that. And it looks like it's a top-down view. But it looks like it has decent graphics, smooth, looks kind of fun, and I'd like to try this. So this is Gangster Arena. Okay, and some more very exciting news. Scatter Wallet is making major moves. And by the way, I think it's just 2 brothers, 2 guys is the whole team of Scatter. So it goes to show you that just 2 people can accomplish amazing things. And they just released their version 10 of the Scatter Wallet. And if you haven't tried it already, I highly recommend you do. It's a beautiful, elegant redesign of their original software. And it allows you to utilize EOS or any EOSIO-based token using your Ledger hardware wallet with ease. But not just that new version, but they're also going to launch an exchange inside of Scatter Wallet itself. These guys are unstoppable. So with things like Rex and then Scatter having a built-in exchange, I am really looking forward to seeing this. Can't wait till we have a working demo. We do have a screenshot. They give us a little sampler. He says, proof is in the pudding. I hear you guys like pudding. I like pudding. So here's a screenshot, and it shows the exchange, very simple, trading. It looks like here, EOS for maybe Ethereum. Yeah, he's trading and going to receive the Ethereum right in the wallet itself. You don't need to go to a web page. The government can't shut down the web page because it's built into the software. So this is cool. Very nice, guys. All right, and I've gotten a little more active on Twitter lately. I realized it's probably a good way to stay in touch with many of you guys. And I put a poll up. And so if you haven't voted in the poll, please do. My Twitter handle is Colin T Crypto. If you got a reward for voting, would you start to vote? Like you're not voting at all? Would you vote more often? Or do you already vote every month and renew those votes so that they don't decay? Put your vote there and cast your vote. Next tweet. So Cypherglass is going to do an interview with Brendan Blumer, CEO of block.one, and that is super exciting in itself. And so there was a tweet up asking what kind of things should we ask Brendan during that interview. And I said, please ask him about these two things. One, about governance and voting, and two, if block.one will ever do the audit they said they do, and if not, why and what changed? Because I just haven't heard anything from them despite asking, and the silence became a little odd to me. And so I highlighted the question and the answer in the appropriate corresponding colors. So let's do it backwards here. Let's start with the audit. Brendan said, we continue to work on a mechanism to provide transparency around the token sale and are in talks with multiple firms. So they're actively right now in talks with multiple firms. They have not dropped it by any means. The issue has never been our commitment to it, only auditors' willingness to enter the space. And he follows up with, in the meantime, our organization has been through extensive due diligence by top investors, law firms, and executives of some of the largest institutions in the world that have subsequently joined our organization. So these guys are not avoiding the audit, they're trying to do it actively, and they have extensive due diligence from many, many top leading investment firms, law agencies, etc. So I really, really appreciate that answer, Brendan, for doing that. Just thanks for taking the time out to put some information out where there was just a complete void before. It really helps just to have some transparency on what's happening. So we'll see if we ever do see an audit. It's possible that the legacy audit systems are just completely unwilling to take the risk of entering such a new space. And so in that regard, we might not ever see an audit, but I'm just happy to know that they're trying, they're going for it and they're continuing to try. So that's awesome. So on to the first tweet, I had put, almost all EOS governance and whale problems can be resolved by getting more voters. Why then is a voter rewarded the least of anyone? Voters make the system. Voters are senior to block producers in that they ensure good block producers are in power. Solution, reward voters handsomely and heavily. And I was really emphatic about that because I feel like it's the missing link for our system. And I think that Chintai 2.0 and Rex are going to be a huge part of this, making this a reality. But then, and I wasn't expecting this, but Brendan Blumer honored us with an answer to this as well. And he says, I agree with you on this. And that's why we're preparing to put forth block.one's thoughts on best practices for public blockchain governance. So they're working on it, guys. We're going to get an updated post and we're going to hear their thoughts on how they think that this should change and be directed. Because the current system we have in place, while it's functioning, I wouldn't say it's functioning at its best. We have issues like ECAF almost at conflict with the block producers, and we have the inability to enforce the rules of the Constitution. So it's going to be really nice to see what they have to say about this. But I feel that rewarding voters is a key element because on the hierarchy of things, voters are senior to almost everything in the platform. Voters get to decide the BPs who then get to decide things and who make the blocks. So it makes sense to give them something. And lastly, on Twitter, we have Brendan Blumer just a day ago saying, governance meetings this week at block.one. EOS community, if you have ideas, thoughts, analysis you'd like to be heard, let's hear it. It seems like Brendan Blumer lately has been on a campaign to really find out what the community needs and wants. And I think that's really so cool that, first of all, that he cares enough to ask, right? This organization is going out and asking the community, what do they want? And then they're going to consider this and integrate this into their next EOSIO software updates and releases. So really, really props out to an awesome approach with the community by listening to us. I think we'll make a very strong platform. And so I took this opportunity to say, hey, these are the things I'd like to have heard and listened to. The 4% annual worker proposal fund should be removed. And a clarification is needed on the current funds stored. We'd like to know what's going to happen with the 22 million tokens that are just sitting there doing nothing. And I feel that we should personally remove this system because there's other ways to fund projects. There's VC funds and things like that. And so far, this has not been being used at all. And also, it's way too much money. Second point I said is 1% of annual inflation should be given directly to voters, in addition to the Rex benefits, reward handsomely. And I was tying that into my previous post about voters being rewarded and how important it is. And so, yeah, we're going to get benefits when Rex and Chintai 2.0 hit the scenes very soon. But I wonder if it's going to be enough. And if it is, then awesome. Then maybe we don't need this. But if we don't have high enough voter turnouts, I think we should put a measly 1% of annual inflation. If we're willing to reward block producers 1% annual inflation, we should absolutely be willing to reward those who voted in the block producers and spent their time doing the due diligence to vote for those block producers. So that's that point there. The last point I wanted to make known here is I really feel that we should be looking at all the sister chains and taking the best features from them and integrating them into the EOSIO software, because we have different features on Telos. We have inverse weighted voting, and we have EOSForce, an Asian-based EOSIO blockchain that has several very interesting things. And I'll just put out there that they have a 90% voter turnout rate right now because they do reward their voters handsomely. And it just results in an active voting community. So I think that these should be looked at. And if these are proven successful, we should take those features and make them a standard part of the EOSIO software so that all chains can benefit from these good solutions. block.one doesn't have to be the genius behind every solution. They've done a great job so far. It's okay to allow the community to add some features and solutions as well. All right, guys, let's move on to the next topic. I thought this was kind of cool. So Mike Maloney apparently is into EOS. Check this out. This is his video.
And then it's off to the races. Also, I wanted to tell everybody that this is a chart of the price of EOS, the EOS cryptocurrency. And I bought back in the 5s here, and I bought up in the 11s, and I bought in the 8s, and I bought in the 5s, and I just made a purchase in the 2s.
Wow. So Mike Maloney is all over EOS, buying it up. It looks like he may have not gotten the absolute best prices, but he is dollar cost averaging in, which is smart. I hope he gets more at the $2 range. Just for reference, I was buying right here. I bought some right here. It was like $1.70, $1.50, $1.80. This was my range where I accumulated most of my EOS. I have gotten a little bit in this range too, and I'm definitely accumulating some around this range. If it drops down again, I personally am going to be buying probably my last purchase of EOS, because I feel like that's the last opportunity to get as dirt cheap of prices as possible. So I suspect we might see one last dip before the market starts to climb. Anyways, so isn't that awesome? Mike Maloney, a gold proponent, silver proponent from way back, and just showing that he's into EOS. And he's very honest about it. He says he doesn't know everything about EOS, and he does not claim to be an expert. But you know, we got some intelligent people putting their money in EOS, and it just goes to show you, if smart people are moving money into EOS, it's probably not a bad idea. All right, and I have created blockproducers.info, the EOS block producer rank tracker, and I just made a version of it for Telos as well. So if you want to check out the latest Telos block producer rankings, go to blockproducers.info/Telos. And thank you to Kevin Q of TelosGlobal for the information feed to get this BP data. Thanks a bunch. Okay, guys, and I'm going to show you the next thing I created. Oh, we have a visitor. Hi, Bailey. This is Bailey the crypto cat. Say hi, Bailey. Let's see if it gets in focus. Up here. Yeah. Bailey loves crypto. His favorite tokens are Meowcoin and EOS. Just a coincidence. So on to my offline EOSIO transaction generator. I've done a few upgrades on this, and you'll find it at colintalkscrypto.com. So if you want to securely vote, you can now do so for both EOS and for Telos. You can also update your active key for either of your EOS or Telos accounts and link it to your ledger. And I have done this myself with both of those, tested it, and it works. So now I'm able to use my EOS and Telos tokens completely safely using my Ledger Nano S hardware wallet. So I hope you find it useful. A couple of tips: make sure you save this file before you do anything, and make sure you save the files in step number 2 before you do anything. And you only have to do one of these 2 steps under number 2. You can do A or B. You can update your active permission, or you can vote for BPs. You do not have to do both. And then you do that step offline, and you come online again, and you just push that transaction onto the network. And so by doing so, if you're secure in the offline portion, you can then have never exposed your private key to the internet, yet accomplished a transaction. Okay, and if you're curious, because I was, what are the prices of these new tokens and these new chains? We have Telos, we have Worbli, we have EOSForce, right? How much are they worth? And Chainrift is one of the popular exchanges for Telos, and they have a price of 0.065 per EOS, right? So let's do this math. And right now the price of EOS is $2.78. So right now we have an 18-cent Telos token. That's pretty damn good. That's what I think. Actually, I predicted a 20-cent Telos token. Hey, not bad, guys. Doing good on my predictions today. Hey guys, I finished recording the video and I forgot to tell you one very important thing about Telos that I want to share with you right now. And that's that at block 6 million, there's going to be a Telos Original Snapshot. And basically what that is any Telos account that has performed at least one transaction, it could be a transaction of any type, it can be voting, it can be sending some Telos tokens, will be then included in this snapshot. And this snapshot is the equivalent of the EOS Genesis snapshot, but for Telos, meaning that any future airdrops that are given out on the Telos blockchain will be given to you only if you're part of this Telos Original Snapshot. So I just wanted to let you guys know, you must do a transaction. I think you have approximately 6 days left to do a transaction. It's probably about 4 days left from the time when I actually release this video. And you have about 4 to 6 days to do a transaction on the Telos network so that you are included in the Telos Original Snapshot. And you can use the tools on my website to do an offline transaction to vote. All you have to do is do one offline vote transaction and you're good. Okay guys, hope that helps. Thanks. Back to the video. And let's move on to Worbli. So CoinGecko actually lists Worbli. Unfortunately, it doesn't list Telos yet, but Worbli is currently at 1.8 cents per Worbli token. And EOSForce is currently worth 0.89 cents, so just under a cent per token. So while we're on the EOSForce page, I'll just tell you what I know about it. I did a quick bit of research. I don't claim to know everything there is to know about it by any means. The inflation's about 9%, and that has to do with the fact that voters are rewarded. And the voting system is very interesting. So every token holder gets to vote for 1 block producer per token, not 30 block producers per token, like on EOS and Telos. And so they're doing that in an attempt to stop conglomerates, voting groups from forming, because you can only vote for one person. So if you're going to vote and you're a block producer, you're going to vote for yourself, right? Why would you give your votes away to somebody else? So that could be workable, 1 vote per token, and you get rewarded as a voter. So you get a passive income for voting for block producers. But not just that, you get a reward based on how long that block producer has been in the top space and how long you've been voting for them. And they've done it in such a way, to my understanding, that if you voted for an underdog, a guy that's ranked 50 or outside the top 21, and he climbs into the top 21, hopefully because he's a very solid and good block producer, and you voted for him before he got in the top 21, you will get even more rewards because you kind of like predicted, it's almost like a prediction market. You predicted the success accurately of that good block producer. So it rewards intelligent voting. And I think this is one of those features that would be cool for EOS to look at integrating into that software. So there you go, guys. Hope you found this useful. Please like, please subscribe, please share my video. By the way, I do have 50 more EOS account creation codes. And if you made it this far in the video, I'm giving you another opportunity to get one. If you share this video, EOS Mega Update Volume 16 on Twitter, and follow me, Colin T Crypto, I will send you an invite for a Meet One account creation code. And this allows you to create an EOS account absolutely free using their app. So there you go, guys. Have a great day. Take care and go EOS.